coffee talk this week, and let's see if the jazz in the background is going to get me taken down by YouTube bots. But this week I wanted to talk about mental health. Last week I had a really nice streaming session with Tim Johnson from the Couply app, and we talked on his live. We talked about the types of connection between people and how it's important to actually just go beyond the I like, I love, and those sort of very simple ways of talking about connection, and bringing a vocabulary in, and that sort of was working in the back of my mind. And then on the weekend I had a really great reconnect with an old friend of mine. We went for a walk in the cemetery of Helsinki, like while everybody was going on to their Vappu and 1st of May celebration, getting very social. I wanted to just slow down, and it's mental health week this month, and mental health month this month, and I wanted to just reflect on a myth that came very clearly from that conversation I had with this friend. And so we went for the walk, and he was just telling me about how he had a really tough time. There's a divorce in the air. There's work issues, and it's really just something that I think a lot of people are struggling with at the moment, when it's difficult to deal with the outer world when the inner world is coming as an interference. And as I often do in these coffee talks, I do my inner child talking and my inner parent. And I had 2 conversations this weekend with the same theme, so I thought I'd share this with you. So we talked, and I don't want to share obviously what he shared in his intimacy, but there was actual moment of transformation about an hour after we were talking, where he said to me, I feel better. I feel a little bit better by talking. And I was wondering what it was that he meant by I feel better. He then opened up that just talking about this without me actually trying to fix his problems made a massive difference. Now, if you've ever done presencing, as Otto Schama talks about in the Presencing Institute, sorry, in MIT, you'll know really the power of holding space for somebody without trying to fix their problems, give opinions, give advice, but just simply hear what they're saying. And essentially that's what I was doing. I was hearing what he was saying, also sharing some of my experience, which makes it not strictly speaking presencing as a format, but he literally shifted his inner story, his inner narrative from that conversation. Now, then I looked back to it, and I think the myth that appeared here is that often when you hear people who have struggles, whether it's personal life, work life, whatever it is, there generally is this assumption that if you talk about something, it gives it power. Actually, talking about something gives you power over it, and that's something that I think today, with the amount of people looking inside themselves, trying to grow and deal with their internal shit, there's a really good value in understanding that talking to a friend, particularly a friend who's actually willing to listen without giving advice, but listening in a non-judgmental way, and helping the person to really just talk about it with a part of me is feeling this, a part of me is experiencing that, gives you that power over it, rather than being I am feeling anger, a part of me is feeling anger, or rather than I am upset, there's a part of me. And then it opens up the possibility of thinking, which is that part of me? Is it my inner child? Is it my inner parent? Which is that part? Starts an internal process of healing and transformation. So this story was one, and it happened again yesterday when I had a cousin that we great deep conversation again. Same thing happened. Talking about something helps to actually just, in a way, transform the meaning you give to it. So my invitation to you on this coffee talk is, try this week, when you notice somebody who's not in their top form, or who's struggling to get to terms with something, or even that you sense you're called to talk to on a more deep and meaningful level than hi, how are you, how's the weather, to try and actually invite, with all the respect that you can, a conversation where you're holding space for them, that you're not actually really just fixing their problems, but listening to understand and helping them to get power over their issue by clarifying and even potentially transforming their issue. That's my invitation to you for this week. Have a good week, and see you soon.